Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever found yourself standing alone, surrounded by a world full of connections, yet feeling distant from it all? Have you ever wondered what it truly means to be a man with no friends? Many people will tell you that friendship is essential, that it's the glue that holds us together in the trials of life. But what if, just for a moment, we stopped seeing loneliness as a weakness and instead viewed it as a rare opportunity for growth, for reflection, and for self-reliance? Today, I challenge you to think differently. A man with no friends may appear to be walking a lonely path, but it is on this path that he discovers his true strength. It is in the silence of solitude that he learns the most valuable lesson of all. His worth does not come from others. A man with no friends is not a man defeated by isolation. He is a man who, in the absence of external noise, learns to listen to the voice inside. That voice is one of courage, ambition, and purpose. In a world obsessed with belonging, the power of standing alone without fear, without apology, becomes a superpower. This is not the beginning of a story about loneliness. It is the start of a journey toward unshakable self-sufficiency and unyielding resilience. So, let us embrace the idea that solitude is not a punishment, but a blessing in disguise. For it is in the quiet moments of life, when we stand alone, that we are given the chance to truly meet ourselves. The man with no friends is not without worth. He is a man on the verge of discovering the greatest friendship of all, the friendship with himself. Solitude is strength. Solitude, often feared and misunderstood, holds a powerful and transformative potential. In a world that constantly emphasizes connection, social interaction, and collaboration, being alone is frequently seen as a negative state, a sign of weakness or failure. However, true strength can be found in solitude, not in spite of it. When we are alone, we are given the rare gift of silence, a time when the noise of the world falls away, allowing us to reconnect with ourselves in the most profound way. It is in these moments of solitude that we can find clarity, purpose, and inner strength. Many people view solitude as a form of isolation, as though being alone makes them vulnerable, disconnected, or unworthy. But in reality, solitude offers the opportunity for personal reflection and growth. When there are no distractions and no external expectations, a person can tune into their own thoughts, emotions, and desires. This is a time to understand what truly matters to us, free from the influence of others or the pressure to conform. It is in this quiet space that we can recognize our own strengths, fears, dreams, and weaknesses. The isolation becomes a fertile ground for self-awareness, where we discover who we truly are, without the need for approval or validation from others. Moreover, solitude builds resilience. When we spend time alone, we learn to rely on ourselves in ways that are often impossible in the presence of others. We face challenges and confront obstacles that might otherwise be shielded by the comfort of social connections. By navigating through life on our own, we cultivate an inner strength that cannot be easily shaken. Solitude teaches us to persevere in the face of adversity, to trust our instincts, and to lean on our own abilities rather than depending on others for support. Over time, this self-sufficiency becomes a source of confidence, and we begin to realize that we are capable of handling whatever life throws our way without needing constant reassurance or the company of others. In solitude, we also learn the art of self-reflection and introspection. We can evaluate our past decisions, analyze our current situations, and consider the direction we want our lives to take. This process of reflection is essential for personal growth. It allows us to correct mistakes, make better choices, and improve ourselves in meaningful ways. Solitude gives us the space to break free from the distractions of daily life and truly focus on what matters most to us. It is a time to redefine our values, set new goals, and reinforce our commitments to personal development. In fact, solitude is not about being alone in a physical sense. It's about finding inner peace and contentment within ourselves. It is in the stillness of our own company that we often hear our true desires, away from the noise of society and the demands of others. When we learn to appreciate and embrace solitude, we come to understand that our worth does not depend on the presence or opinions of others. The quiet becomes a space of liberation, where we are free to be ourselves, to explore our passions, and to connect with the deepest parts of our soul. Ultimately, solitude offers us the chance to become the best version of ourselves. It is in this time alone that we can cultivate the strength to face life's challenges with grace, to trust ourselves when no one else is around, and to find peace within. Far from being a sign of weakness, solitude is a source of incredible power. Through it, we develop resilience, clarity, and an unwavering confidence that we can stand strong, no matter the circumstances. Solitude is not the absence of company, it is the presence of the most important person, yourself. Self-worth from within. Self-worth, often mistaken for external validation or the approval of others, is something that must come from within. It is the foundation of how we view ourselves, and it defines how we navigate the world. Too often we seek external sources to determine our value, whether it's through compliments, accolades, relationships, or societal standards. However, when we rely on others for our sense of worth, we give away the power to define ourselves. True self-worth is not dependent on the opinions or expectations of others. It comes from within, rooted in the understanding and acceptance of who we are at our core. At its core, self-worth is the recognition of our inherent value, regardless of our achievements, appearance, or what others may think of us. It is a deep-seated belief that we are enough, just as we are. This kind of self-acceptance can only come when we stop comparing ourselves to others and stop seeking external validation. When we base our self-worth on the opinions of others, we place our happiness in their hands, constantly shifting our sense of value, depending on their feedback. But this creates instability and vulnerability, as external validation is temporary and unpredictable. Relying on others to define our worth can leave us feeling uncertain and fragile. Instead, true self-worth arises when we acknowledge our own value and recognize that we are deserving of love, respect, and success simply because we exist. This internal source of worth is unshakable and independent of external circumstances. It is not about being perfect or meeting every expectation. It is about understanding that, regardless of our flaws, we are worthy of kindness, respect, and happiness. When we accept ourselves as we are, we stop searching for approval and begin to trust our own judgment. Our decisions become less influenced by others' opinions, and we start to act in alignment with our authentic selves. Building self-worth from within is a process of self-reflection and self-compassion. It requires us to confront our insecurities and past experiences and to challenge the negative beliefs we have about ourselves. This process may be difficult, as many of us have been conditioned to look outward for affirmation. However, by focusing on our strengths, values, and the progress we've made, we begin to form a solid foundation of self-love and respect. We must remind ourselves that our value is not defined by our mistakes, our failures, or the opinions of others. Every person has intrinsic worth, and recognizing this within ourselves is the key to cultivating true confidence. When we derive our self-worth from within, we become less susceptible to criticism and less reliant on others to feel good about ourselves. We are able to set boundaries, speak up for what we deserve, and prioritize our own needs and well-being. We stop measuring our success by external standards and begin to value the journey we are on, the lessons we've learned, and the growth we've achieved. This shift in perspective allows us to live with greater authenticity and peace, as we are no longer seeking to prove our worth to others. Ultimately, the power of self-worth lies in its ability to create a life of freedom and fulfillment. When we realize that we are enough, regardless of what others think or say, we can confidently pursue our passions, set meaningful goals, and build relationships that are rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Our worth is not something that can be earned or taken away. It is intrinsic, constant, and unchanging. By embracing our true value from within, we unlock the potential to live a life that is rich in self-love, self-respect, and inner peace. Opportunity for growth. Opportunities for growth often arise in the most unexpected places, and sometimes it is through periods of isolation or difficulty that we are presented with the greatest chances to evolve. Growth, both personal and professional, doesn't happen by remaining in our comfort zones or by constantly seeking the approval and company of others. It flourishes when we step back, embrace challenges, and take ownership of our own journey. In moments of solitude, we are given the time and space to reflect, adjust, and transform. It is in these quieter, often uncomfortable moments that we realize our potential and unlock the doors to growth. Growth is a process, and it rarely happens overnight. It is often born out of adversity, setbacks, and times when we are forced to confront our weaknesses, fears, and limitations. These periods of discomfort are not hindrances, but stepping stones toward a better version of ourselves. In fact, true growth often occurs when we push ourselves beyond what we thought were our limits. We might not always see the value in facing difficult situations at first, but looking back, we can often trace the path of our greatest personal development to those very moments of struggle. Challenges and hardships stretch us in ways that comfort and stability never will. One of the most significant opportunities for growth arises from self-reflection. When we find ourselves alone with no external distractions or influences, we have the chance to examine our actions, thoughts, and goals. This introspection allows us to identify areas where we can improve, whether it's in our personal habits, our mindset, or our relationships. It gives us the clarity needed to reevaluate our life's direction and make changes that align with our true desires and aspirations. We may discover that what we thought we wanted or needed isn't in alignment with who we truly are. And this realization opens the door to new opportunities and goals that are far more authentic and fulfilling. Moreover, growth often involves learning from our failures and mistakes. It's easy to overlook the value of failure in our fast-paced, success-driven society. However, failure is one of the most powerful catalysts for personal growth. Each setback provides us with valuable lessons that can only be learned through experience. In these moments, we are forced to adapt, reevaluate our strategies, and refine our approach. Growth comes when we stop fearing failure and instead begin to embrace it as an essential part of the process. By reframing failure as an opportunity to learn, we allow ourselves to grow stronger and wiser with each challenge we face. Taking ownership of our own growth means being accountable for our actions and decisions. It requires us to take the initiative to seek out new experiences, acquire new skills, and challenge ourselves in ways that may feel uncomfortable. Growth doesn't happen by waiting for the right moment or hoping for the right circumstances. It comes from actively seeking opportunities to learn, stretch, and expand our boundaries. This might mean stepping into unfamiliar situations, taking risks, or confronting aspects of ourselves that we have been avoiding. But it is through these challenges that we gain the most valuable insights and skills that contribute to our personal and professional development. Ultimately, the opportunity for growth lies in our ability to embrace change, learn from our experiences, and continuously evolve. It is a lifelong journey that requires patience, resilience, and a willingness to take risks. The more we invest in our own growth, the more we discover about our strengths, abilities, and potential. When we approach each day as an opportunity to grow, we unlock the limitless possibilities that life has to offer, transforming challenges into stepping stones and setbacks into lessons that propel us toward becoming the best version of ourselves. The power of self-friendship. The power of self-friendship lies in the understanding that our most important relationship is the one we have with ourselves. We often look to others for companionship, support, and validation. But the truth is that no relationship can be as fulfilling or as essential as the one we cultivate internally. In a world that constantly demands connection, it is easy to forget that the foundation of all healthy relationships starts with a deep, loving connection with oneself. Self-friendship is not about being self-centered or isolating yourself from others. but rather about learning to appreciate, care for, and nurture your own soul. It's about becoming your own greatest ally, offering yourself the same compassion, encouragement, and understanding that you would give to a close friend. When we practice self-friendship, we begin to treat ourselves with the same respect and kindness we offer to those we care about. This includes embracing our flaws and imperfections, acknowledging our strengths, and giving ourselves permission to make mistakes without harsh judgment. We learn to forgive ourselves just as we would forgive a friend, instead of holding on to guilt, regret, or self-criticism. By offering ourselves unconditional love and acceptance, we create a safe space within, where we can grow and heal without fear of rejection. This acceptance forms the basis for a strong, resilient self-esteem that is not dependent on external validation or the approval of others. Self-friendship also means being honest with ourselves, even when the truth is difficult to face. It requires us to reflect on our actions, beliefs, and desires with clarity and without judgment. Like a true friend, we must be willing to have tough conversations with ourselves, confronting our fears, insecurities, and limitations. By being truthful with ourselves, we open the door to personal growth and transformation. When we are willing to be vulnerable and introspective, we gain a deeper understanding of who we are, what we need, and how we can improve. This self-awareness allows us to make conscious choices that align with our true values and aspirations. In cultivating self-friendship, we also learn to set healthy boundaries. Just as a true friend knows when to support and when to step back, we must learn to do the same for ourselves. Boundaries protect our energy, ensure that we are treated with respect, and help us prioritize our needs. By setting boundaries, we create space for self-care, which is essential for maintaining emotional, mental, and physical well-being. This means not overextending ourselves, saying no when necessary, and not feeling guilty for taking time to recharge. Self-friendship means recognizing that our well-being is just as important as the needs of others, and sometimes we must prioritize ourselves to show up fully for those around us. Moreover, self-friendship gives us the courage to pursue our passions and dreams, regardless of external judgment. A true friend supports us, encourages us to take risks, and believes in our potential even when we doubt ourselves. By being our own best friend, we learn to trust our instincts, embrace opportunities for growth, and take steps toward the life we desire. We stop waiting for permission from others and instead step confidently into the future we envision for ourselves. Self-friendship provides the foundation for a life filled with purpose, joy, and fulfillment, as we no longer rely on others to validate our worth or decisions. Ultimately, the power of self-friendship is the ability to become our own greatest support system. When we build a solid, loving, and honest relationship with ourselves, we are equipped to navigate the ups and downs of life with strength and resilience. This inner support empowers us to create meaningful connections with others and live authentically, without fear or hesitation. When we are our own best friend, we realize that we do not need to seek validation outside of ourselves. Our self-worth is already rooted deep within. In this way, self-friendship becomes the key to unlocking a life of self-empowerment, self-love, and boundless potential.